Welcome along to episode 839 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. Coming up on the show this week, Briony May Williams suggests a few ice cream flavours. We chat with Jane Devonshire all about raising funds for breast cancer now. Jason Bradbury's along to talk about 100 years of TV. We find out all about the Midlands Fringe, and we get some travel inspiration from Race Across the World's Alfie Watts.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
It's National Ice Cream Month. It's got to be one of my favourites, although every month is Ice Cream Month for me. When it comes to it, though, we enjoy some amazing flavours, and we'd love to see the return of some of our favourites from when we were kids. To tell us more, somebody who no doubt had terrible trouble making ice cream during Ice Cream Week in that scalding hot tent on Bake Off, it is Briony May Williams. Good afternoon.
Hello, how are you?
Is your world treating you well?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I mean, I'm a bit warm, but that's okay because that means it's time for ice cream, doesn't it, when it gets too hot?
Absolutely. And when it comes to ice cream flavours, I mean, we all have our favourites. I mean, I can never understand someone who enjoys rum and raisin. I'm more of a honeycomb kind of guy at the moment. But we all have different flavours we like.
Absolutely. I'm a raspberry ripple girl myself. I love a raspberry ripple. But yeah, a lot of people like the classics, but there have been some people who are quite up for trying some more unusual flavors. I'm going to test you to see how adventurous you are on these new ice cream flavors that some people are really up for trying. Okay, so this comes from some research that Cuisinart has commissioned. Here we go. Would you try avocado flavored ice cream?
I'd say probably not. No, I'm not a fan of avocado.
Okay, all right. What about this one? Bacon flavored ice cream.
See, that is almost tempting, though. I mean, avocados seem normal compared to that, but why not? I'm somebody who likes to dip chips in ice cream when I'm eating a certain fast food restaurant.
Oh, really? You're one of those. I see. Okay, so you'd be up for a bit of bacon.
Yes.
Okay, how about blue cheese ice cream?
Probably not. No, I'm not going to go there. Even though it's the same family, cheese and milk, it's all the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I can imagine though you'd get the blue cheese maybe in like a really fancy restaurant. They're trying to be super, super posh and give you blue cheese ice cream for your pudding or something. But yeah, okay. So there's a little bit of adventurousness in there. In there.
A little bit, but I don't. I mean, I'm not a fan of the old Arctic roll. I know some people grew up on those things, but I don't like cake and ice cream together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
And
I can see that, though. I understand that.
Yeah, and then biscuits have the wrong temperature in there somewhere, but a wafer doesn't. Explain that to me.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. But do you, when you hear that ice cream van tune, does that kind of take you back to your youth?
Well, yeah, I know it is a long time ago now, but I remember the Funny Feet ice cream, and I know they got mentioned in the research as well, didn't they?
Yeah, people really they were asked which ice cream they'd like to bring back, and that one was one of the ones that they said. So you're clearly, people want to bring it back, as well as the Magnum Infinity. Do you remember that one?
I don't know that one. That's probably in my into years where I was buying tubs of ice cream and considering it to be a single serving because it's only got one lid.
I like your logic.
Works every time. But
yeah,
we can create these things ourselves, though, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the joy. So, ice cream, you can get ice cream makers sort of quite readily these days. There are some that are incredibly expensive, whereas Cuisinart have got some much more affordable options, which is great. Their new one they've got out is called the Freeze Wand, and it can make ice cream, sorbets, milkshakes, the lot. And you can really explore your own sort of flavor preferences. So, for example, if you could have an ice cream of any flavor in the world, what would it be?
Ooh, that makes it interesting. I think I love a bit of caramel. That's going to go in there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I do like my honeycomb. But you might want to mix that up with, I don't know, an interesting bit of sort of caramelized apple as well, that sort of thing. And I think that swirled through would be nice.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, that's the thing. You could absolutely do that. And that's the fun of it. My daughter is 9 and she said the other day that she wanted to make Nutella ice cream. So do you know what we did? We made Nutella ice cream. And it was, she said it was the best ice cream she'd ever had in her life. And I don't know if you've ever had to, take any critiques from a 9-year-old about the food that you've made, but they're quite brutal. So for her to say it's the best she's ever had is pretty good, really.
That is absolutely good news. And what would your flavour be then if you were going to create something that wasn't raspberry ripple?
Okay, so I was going down the kind of nostalgic route, trying to think about what I would make. And what I would do is I would make either cornflake or Rice Krispie chocolate cakes, like the ones that you used to make as a kid. And then I'd smash it up and then I'd swirl that through maybe some vanilla ice cream and have like a cornflake cake ice cream. And I think that would be amazing.
That sounds really good too. In fact, I mean, when it comes to some of your favourites, they're like, those chocolate balls that you get that in all good retailers, particularly at Christmas. Those are fantastic because they melt at the temperature of your mouth. Now imagine some of those broken up and scattered through the ice cream that you'd made at home.
Do you know what? The options genuinely are endless. And that's what I love about being able to make it at home. And people do want to try it. Again, with this research that Cuisinart commissioned, 4 in 5 people said they'd like to try it at home. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people who are up for it, which is great.
Yeah, I remember the one time my late mom decided to make ice cream back in the 80s, and it involved lots of trips to and from the freezer and stirring and whisking and all sorts of things. You can take all that pain away, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the churning is the key point, really, with ice cream to get it to the right texture. But with these new machines, you don't have to worry about that. You mix your ingredients together, and in the single scoops machine, you pour it in, it mixes. 25 minutes later, you've got ice cream. Or with the freeze ones, you can actually make 3 different flavors. So if you've got multiple children and they can't agree, which, let's be honest, I grew up as one of 3, we couldn't agree on anything, let alone an ice cream flavor. Everyone can have their own individual ice cream flavor. And then you basically use this freeze wand and it churns the mixture and turns it into ice cream. It's great.
But are you then decanting into a bowl, or are you popping it between wafers, possibly those scallop shells, which are always such good fun, or maybe even a cone? What are you going to do?
Oh, if I had a cone, always a cone. Do you know what I really love is the cones you can get that are dipped in chocolate at the top.
Oh yeah, I like a waffle cone with sherbet dipped.
Oh,
white chocolate into the sherbet, and it's amazing. Turns your mouth blue as well.
Sounds. Oh, love it. And also, what I really love is when you get that surprise bit of chocolate in the bottom of the cone.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, I literally could talk about ice cream all day. It's just, there's so many variants and possibilities.
The only problem is when you're talking about ice cream, you're not eating it, which is...
That's true. But, you could whip some up if you had one of these machines. Done.
That sounds jolly good fun. And of course, it is then down to the recipes that you can come up with. And having had a quick look on their website, I like the fact that with the wand, you can even turn something into a bit of a slushy, couldn't you, as well?
Yeah, you can make slushies, sorbets, milkshakes, and ice cream with this one wand, which is just absolutely brilliant. So if you wanted to be a bit healthier, you can make a sorbet. You could do a delicious fruit sorbet, you can make a slushy. I mean, every child I've ever met, all they want when we go out is a slushy.
Anna, you want the slushy, but you don't want the "I drank my slushy too fast" headache. But
yeah,
it's a difficult balance, isn't it?
It is. It's hard when you've got a slushy. It's hard being a 9-year-old with a brain freeze. You've just got to, you've got to take that hit sometimes.
And try and control them after that. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Just give them some ice cream and let them sit down and settle. That's probably for the best, isn't it? Right. Where can we go to find out more about this wonderful world of homemade ice cream?
So head to Cuisinart's website, or you can head to their socials. They've got loads of ideas on there. They've got online recipe books, the whole shebang. Or you can head to mine at Briony May Bakes. I've got lots of ideas on there as well.
Yeah, you can see that and probably see the reaction of a 9-year-old freezing their mind by eating way faster than they were told to. Always eat ice cream responsibly and make sure to the right speed, and you enjoy it more that way as well.
Absolutely, very key.
That works every time. Briony May Williams, always good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us, and long may your happy ice cream making continue.
Thanks, Jason.
The Wolverhampton Fringe Festival. It's one of those amazing things that's going to take place and inspire and ignite a passion for the arts in our city. The poets, Prattlers and Pandemonilaists, of which I have 2/3 with me at the moment, are behind this whole thing. And let's find out what's going on from them on the 25th, 26th and 27th of July. Steve, Emma, how you doing?
We're all right. Yeah, good. Thanks, Jason.
Good stuff. Now,
Yeah.
have you got Dave hiding behind the settee there or something, or is he?
I think Dave might be hiding within arm's reach of a toilet. He's got a bit of an upset stomach.
Okay, that's more information than we needed. All will be fixed by the weekend, no one hopes. And we all could do with a weight loss program like that, so that's all good. Okay, so what is happening with this fringe thing?
We just thought it'd be a really good idea to have a fringe in Wolverhampton, rather than people having to trek elsewhere if they wanted to see it, and also for people who've never been to Fringe or don't know what it is, to have an opportunity to come along and see what it's about.
A little bit of Edinburgh.
Right, in your own way. So that all sounds good. But it's not just like tassels on the edge of Bentley Bridge with Marines and Tetnall, is it? This is actually a festival in itself, bringing not only comedy, but all sorts of other things to the stage too.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 15 Fringe shows and
2 headline comedians, and they're going to be on at the Arena Theatre.
Yeah, and we're using 3 other venues apart from the Arena, which are all, 2 cafes and a pub, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic to me. There's going to be a wonderful theatre, 2 cafes and a pub. There's got to be cake, and if people do wish to imbibe themselves in beer, they can. So it's all going to come together from a sort of an artistic point of view, but the coordination behind this must be doing your guys' heads in. You're more used to being on stage than as well as coordinating, but it's an interesting mix of excitement for you.
Yeah.
We're not actually performing at this, which helps a little bit.
Yeah.
We're just we're kind of running it.
We're in the role of administrators for the weekend, but we had we've got these 15 shows. We've tried to go for a real range of stuff in what we're putting on. But we had 90 different applications,
Wow.
So we were spoiled for choice, and it was really difficult because there was some great stuff that we looked at and had to go, not this time, we haven't got room for you, But
because we put in a funding bid to the Arts Council, didn't we? So we were lucky enough to get that. So it's supported by Arts Council England.
Yeah.
Which is great. But obviously we'd already kind of said how many shows we were going to have, so we couldn't like really expand that, even though we had the applications.
Yeah. We've got theatre, we've got comedy, we've got storytelling, we've got a magical mystery murder experience, which I'm massively intrigued by because I've no idea what that's going to be. We've got Ian Pearce rounding it all off with looking for Wolverhampton's Latin Quarter, which is just glorious.
It's a show he's taken to Edinburgh before, and it's all sort of set around his growing up years in Wolverhampton, really.
Yeah, which is a great way to finish the whole thing on Sunday evening.
So about that, that's great as well. The fact that something with the Fringe that's inspired you, that's featured our city, is then coming back to our city. I think that's just quality, isn't it?
We tried to do that. We've tried to bring a range. We wanted to have some people from the Midlands in it, so that it was giving local artists an opportunity, but also then bring people from elsewhere, so that we were trying to get the best show overall that we could.
A bit of cross-pollination.
Yeah, and it's been a learning curve. There'll undoubtedly be things that we look at after and go, well, if we're doing that again, we'll make that better, or we'll change that. But it's a pretty good starting point, we think.
Yeah, hopefully so.
So is the plan then to turn this into an annual event?
Well,
we'll find out. See how we feel on Monday.
Okay, I'll ask you next week, and we can see what happens from there.
And we have called it sort of Midlands Fringe as well. So there's scope to sort of potentially
build on it,
on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, and wrote some of those Brummies and people from Warsaw.
Not that far. Won't go that far.
We'll see. Warsaw, Wolverhampton, Dudley. That sounds like our sort of proper area, doesn't it? Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. So it's going to be good. It's going to be an entertaining time. So what do people do to get tickets for any events that haven't sold out already?
If you want to come to either Lucy Porter or Stephen K. Amos at Arena Theatre, who are our big headline comedians, there are still tickets left for those, and you can buy via the Arena box office online, or you can pop into Arena. But they are selling fast, so probably best not to hang about.
Yeah, don't go hanging about.
But for the little shows in the cafes and the pubs, you basically turn up, don't you, Steve?
Yep. It's the way Fringe works. It's glorious. It's all about making it accessible and immediate. So if you want to come along, you turn up. We let people in until the venue's full. And also you come in for nothing, but you have to pay to leave. Right? So the way it works, there's going to be, you come in, you watch the show, and then there'll be either the bucket or the hat, and you throw in what you think the show is worth, what you can afford, whatever. And all of that money, every last penny of it, goes direct to the artist.
Which
So
is
it's
good.
a way it just has that real kind of exchange between audience and artist. If you think something's great and you're like, my God, I would have paid whatever to go and see that in it, if you like, a proper venue. Then...
You wanted to say 50 quid then, didn't you?
Wow, I wasn't even going that far. But if you think, God, that's worth 20, great. But if you go, oh, do you know what, mate? I've had a rough week. I've got £1.50 in shrapnel here.
That's what you put in.
That's what you put in.
Well, it's going to be an amazing thing with the Midlands Fringe. So where do we get the full lineup? What do we do?
We've got a website. So the easiest thing, if you go to your search engine and put in Midlands Fringe 2025, we just tried it before we started chatting to you to check, and it came up right near the top. And on that, it explains what Fringe is. It gives you the shows day by day. So on the Friday, there's 3 shows and a comedian. On the Saturday, 6 shows and a headline comedian. And then 6 shows on the Sunday. And it gives you all the lowdown on each of them as well.
Yeah.
So you can see the different genres. And, there's a couple of them where we've gone, yeah, that's child friendly. And then a couple of them where we've gone, that probably isn't.
No, there's some 18 plus shows, so you need to be careful and read the ratings before you rock up with your 7-year-old. So
Yeah.
on the Friday, the 3 shows that are on are in KT's Cafe, which is a smashing venue. And then on the Saturday, it's a mix between the Cattery and Lichgate. And then they're all in the Lichgate on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And the ones on Friday as well, we start off with a storyteller. So that's something quite, probably quite gentle and definitely for all the family.
Yeah.
Then we've got one that I'm really intrigued to see. It's about someone who's been a dresser for stars in the West End and they're spilling the beans in character. So that sounds like it'll be really interesting. And then we've got a show that we've actually seen twice, which is The Tanner, which is a one-man piece of theatre by Alex McSherry, performed by him. And it's just amazing, compelling.
Amazing one-man monologue.
Yeah.
About William Wallace's Tanner.
Yeah.
So
we met him when we were up in Edinburgh.
Not William Wallace.
No, not William Wallace. Alex McSherry. He was doing the same venue as us. And he came outside and he was doing the barking, the sort of, hey, come on. And we were just like, okay, yeah, we will. And it was superb.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds absolutely phenomenal. It's going to be a brilliant 3-day festival, putting the Midlands on the map where we should be and highlighting the wonderful world that is Wolverhampton, because that's the best place in the Midlands, isn't it, to be fair? And we can have a good time with it. Poets, I've got to try this right. Hang on. Poets, what is it? What order do we do them in?
Poets, Prattlers and Pandemonilaists.
Prattlers is the Prattlers. I forgot Prattlers. Poets, Prattlers and Pandemonilaists. Stephen, well, there's only 2 of you out of the 3, so which one do you take on a roll each, or is it a third of each? I know, how does it work?
It depends on day to day. I think it moves around. That does.
Who has the mantle? Steve, Emma, thank you both for joining us.
Cheers, Jason.
Take care.
Now we've got a summer ahead of us, which means hopefully some interesting cream teas to spill the tea on breast cancer and raising funds for breast cancer charity. I'm joined now by Jane Devonshire, Celebrity MasterChef winner. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jason.
Now, when it comes to an afternoon tea, I mean, are you a strawberries and cream kind of girl, or do you prefer, maybe some of the unusual sandwich fillings, like bacon and marmalade? What's going on?
Maybe not bacon and marmalade, though bacon marmalade is good. I to be honest with you, I'm not fussy. I like any food, and if somebody else is feeding me and we're having it over a cup of tea, it's even better, isn't it? a joy to share food with friends.
Absolutely, and to raise funds for charity with breast cancer now, it would be a brilliant way of doing it. But their research has shown that there are some unusual sandwich fillings. These are the top 10. Banana and pickle, chocolate and fried egg, that sounds horrible. Chocolate spread and cucumber, can't see that myself. Bacon and marmalade, as mentioned. Carrot and hummus, I can see that happening. Or egg and mango chutney, that kind of works. But cheese and peanut butter scares me slightly. Peanut butter, banana and bacon, I kind of almost get that one. Crisps with honey sounds fun. Cheese and jam, now that sounds wrong. But strawberries and cream cheese, which I think a major supermarket has been sort of dining out on over the last few months.
Yeah, definitely. That seems to be really hitting the Insta pages, doesn't it? I'll try anything once. Because I think that's for me. I love to keep it open and try things, but some of it definitely doesn't sound good, does it?
It is a bit worrying, but it is all about having a bit of a get together and a fantastic afternoon tea to raise funds for breast cancer. Now, something that's been encouraged during the whole of August. And are you having a tea with friends and family?
I will be, yes. Every year I support them. I think it's really important. It's lovely. We all get together over August anyway, so to be able to do it, doing an afternoon tea for breast cancer now and raising funds for them just makes it extra special, really. And it's just a lovely way of raising money for this incredible charity and an excuse to get together as well, which always worth it.
It's worth it, absolutely. I mean, we should spend as much time as we can with all our friends and family and make the most of these things. If it's downtime, it should be fun time. And this is always better when there's even some unusual sandwiches on offer. But people have been surveyed as well to find out who their favourite guests might be. And it's a bit of a fantasy in some cases. I think David Attenborough is going to be very busy this summer, though, if he were to take up all the invitations.
I agree. I think he'd be top of most people's list, wouldn't he? I mean, just the most incredible person. For me, I get asked this question, or who I'd share my final meal with. It's really awful because I think for something like this, I want to be with my friends and my family and my mum and my daughter and stuff like that, which is rather boring. But when you're talking about something really important and you're just sitting there having a great chat over a cup of tea, I think they'd be top of my list, which isn't the most exciting.
So, well, Adele came in as a second, Taylor Swift third, then Alison Hammond fourth. Harry Styles also on the dream guest list. So, the thing is, I think there's absolutely loads of people who are going to be saying, "Oh, I'd like to have a little bit of a chat and a cup of tea with that there Jane Devonshire. She's fantastic. She'd be good to talk to."
Oh, thank you. That's really, really kind of you. I mean, this is a charity. Breast cancer is so important to me because, as you know, I'm a breast cancer survivor. I access the facilities that they offer. I access the helpline and many things when I was struggling long before MasterChef with breast cancer. So I can really speak from personal experience on how important the charity is and the great work that they do. And, how just having an afternoon tea with friends, family, or somebody famous, if you can pull them along, which would be great, is really important. And every little bit helps. It doesn't matter whether it's just a couple of friends or a big thing. It's just doing something that is important, I think.
Yeah, and it's a time to maybe have that conversation and say, have you checked yourself? And whether it's for men or women, or they need to different areas they need to check on. But certainly when it comes to breast cancer, it's something that affects both genders.
It really is. I know. I think I might be wrong if I'm not, but 55,000 women but 400 men. And obviously, because it's quite rare in men, it's less diagnosed. So it's a really important one to keep on thinking. And it was a conversation, a friend who found a lump and gone for exploratory surgery. It's why I then assessed myself and found a lump and went to get it examined. So I think these conversations are really important. And you just, it might be a flippant remark and you think, oh, I'm in the shower, I'll just have a fiddle, and you find something, or you don't, hopefully. So these informal conversations over cups of tea and slices of cake and things are really important. And it does often cause the grounding for somebody think in their little brain going, or in my little brain certainly, let's have a test and see.
Yeah, but it's one to check, so you get to know how your body feels, so you can spot changes.
Exactly, and it's really important. I think self-diagnosis is a massive thing. Yes, we've got mammograms and stuff, and it's these little conversations which hopefully spark something, because we're all dreadful at thinking, oh, I'll do it next time, and then something just happens. You go, oh, I'll do that today.
Yeah, and it could be something which saves or prolongs your life.
Exactly. Well, I'm still here. oh gosh, coming up to 17 years after initial diagnosis. So it is really important to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want all our loved ones around us for as long as possible, so encourage them to get checked too. And by raising funds for the charity here, I think it's about the awareness. It is about spreading that message and doing it in a way that reaches out to people. It's through conversations like this and the chat you can have over a cuppa with that afternoon tea in August as well, that really does make a difference.
Yes, 100%. And just it's well, I can't stress anything that involves tea and cake. I'm up for it. I don't drink coffee at all, so tea is my definite go-to. So if it's those two things, I'll be there like a bonnet. Oh yeah, I'm here.
And okay, so what flavour combination that's unusual would you be doing for your Breast Cancer Now tea party?
Oh wow. At the moment, I think most things are chocolate and chili. Is that unusual? I don't know, but
It isn't a sandwich.
Yeah, maybe. But we try it.
That could be fun to give it a go to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fairly standard when it comes to sandwiches. I don't put anything on it. I did once have a cake sandwich. That was quite nice.
Oh, okay. My husband's a bit of a fan of pizza sandwiches, which I'm a bit.
You don't need extra carbohydrate on a pizza, do you? But
no,
but
if
it gets into the tea party, then who's going to complain?
Exactly. Yeah. So it all helps. It all
does
helps.
the job. So where can we go to find out more about Breast Cancer Now's summer of events with the August get-together?
Well, I do have the website. To be honest, I'm pretty useless at typing in my www. So if you just type in Breast Cancer Now Afternoon Tea Campaign, it straight away comes up with all the information, how to sign up, hints and tips on how to make it work. They send you a lovely little pack with bits and pieces to make it, look fun and energetic and stuff. So it's all there for you. They are absolutely so on the money with helping you get organised for it and make it very easy for you. Literally, Breast Cancer Now Afternoon Tea, Google it, and you'll get all the information you need.
And I think it's something we should do every afternoon and should put a couple of quid in the box every time throughout the whole of August. It sounds like a plan to me.
Wouldn't that be lovely? We wouldn't be in our bikinis.
Jane, Devonshire, Celebrity MasterChef winner, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much, Jason.
Now, when it comes to getting away, we all want to be a savvy saver, beating the system with millions of us trying to use travel hacks to maximise our getaways and save some money too. Somebody who has not only been 9 times around the world since Race Across the World, but loves a good value getaway is Alfie Watts, winner from the previous series. How are you doing, sir?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
All good here. Now, I've been following your antics since we last had a natter. You seem to have a great time at a festival in Malaysia. You actually in the UK at the moment?
No, I'm not. We are, well, me and 2 of my friends are doing a road trip of the US, and we're having a great time just outside San Francisco at the moment.
Have you actually been in the UK for more than 3 or 4 days recently?
No. I'm back on Sunday for 5 days, and then I go again for 4 weeks. It's chaos, absolute chaos.
An amazing lifestyle, but one in which I think we'd all like to emulate, particularly when it comes to travel on our holidays. With 4 in 10 of us considering themselves travel hackers, I think they do something to beat you in the travel market. But what sort of things can they sort of do to help keep the cost down?
I mean, there's loads and loads of things, isn't it? I mean, as soon as you start the booking process for travel or a holiday, you're looking to save money as soon as you can. Particularly if it's a summer holiday and you've got family. So it's about looking at when you booking your flights. Are you booking early? Are you booking in the sweet spot, which tends to be, I find, 6 to 8 weeks before the flight departs? Do you prefer to have just the rest assured that in January you know where you're going and you don't want to have to worry about it throughout the year? Are you booking flights to leave on weekdays because sometimes that can be cheaper? Are you using incognito mode? All of these things can kind of all contribute to having a cheaper experience when it comes to traveling.
The incognito mode on your browser is an important one because some of these websites, they do pick up on demand and then put the prices up accordingly. So if they know who, what, where and when, they will try and do something to force you into buying before the price gets any higher.
Precisely, and that's how airlines work. They're fully on a supply and demand business model. So if they see that the demand is there, they know they can raise the prices, because ultimately the thing about flights is that there's very often not that many options.
So onepoll.com have provided the data here. What else were the standouts for you?
I think the standouts were that 18% of people say that they only get their travel hacking tips from social media. find that really hard to believe because I don't know if it's just an age thing or if it's a certain demographic that answered the survey, but I mean, everyone that I know gets their travel hacks from social media. Travel hacks on social media are one of the most viral concepts that everyone wants to nail. So I found that statistic to be really low.
And having followed you on social media and seeing some of the stuff that you get up to, I mean, there is always something there. And you're one of those people who enjoys talking about what you've been able to do, and whichever of the brands that you're either working with or have saved you some cash, it's people like you who's shouting about it.
Yeah, and that's and loads of people love doing that now, and that's kind of some people think it's the beauty of social media. I definitely do. Some people don't, but it's, the shareability now. That's probably where the recent uptake of people wanting to travel has come from.
Mm-hmm. And it all comes down to using your cards properly when you travel too, to make sure that you keep costs down from sometimes what can be hidden charges from some providers.
Yes, so there's definitely a conversation to be had here because obviously some credit card providers will have international transaction fees, but then some won't, and it's really important that you use the ones that won't, because if you can avoid getting cash out at the airport, or if you can avoid using cash machines where they're going to charge you those sort of withdrawal fees and deposit fees, then you can save money actually by just using your credit card. But you've got to be careful if you go into a cash-only society, because then you can get caught out of nowhere.
And and this does happen around the world. I mean, there are some places where you might even need to try and find a local app to use. And again, you need to look at the transaction costs on your card when you charge. So, because you will still get charged in the local currency, but you may have to use, say, their app to be able to spend. And if you are in a world where cash is king still, then it's the stuff in your pocket, the folding stuff, which will make a difference. And you've got to be careful how you get that actually out of a hole in the wall. So, I mean, what other fun things have you been doing that would equate to travel hacks of late?
So Virgin Red sent me on a challenge, who basically conducted this whole campaign. They sent me from Johannesburg to London to New York exclusively using their Virgin points, which people can accrue with everyday spending. And the messaging behind the campaign was to kind of show people how far you can travel using the beauty of the points. And the good thing is obviously people can save up their points by spending at everyday retailers on the high street, which again comes back to that whole thing of people getting more for their money, which is what people ultimately want when they go traveling.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you obviously use Virgin Red when you're actually coming to buy something, because you'll often get good deals there as well as picking up more points.
Yeah, exactly. And you still have to pay taxes and surcharges on the flight cost, but one-way flights to New York start at just 6,000 points in economy, 16,500 points in premium economy. So we're not talking about completely unattainable levels of points here. We're talking about a well saved bank over the period of 1 or 2 years, and you can genuinely get a return flight to New York.
So something which can say bring an extra holiday. It feels just like a holiday hack, but you've got all sorts of ways of spending your points. But I actually think with the amount of travelling and the like that you do, you are actually racking up Virgin Red points like they're going out of fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. And for people who spend a lot on the high street, it's definitely worth going to the website and seeing if any of the retailers that you spend with frequently, you can claim points on, because then you're just racking up points for stuff that you're spending anyway. You're getting more for your money.
And so you mentioned the fact you're off again for another month. What have you got planned? I mean, are you going to avoid snow this year, or because I've never seen you skiing. I don't ever seen you do that, because you seem to be enjoying a lot of travel.
Yeah, I do love a ski. Obviously not ski season at the minute, but skiing is definitely something I want to do in the winter. But I'm coming back to the States for some projects in next week, and going to Honduras as well.
So that's going to be good. Where do we find out more about Virgin Red and the points you can accrue?
So virginred.com is where you can sign up. It's completely free to sign up, and like I said, just have a look at the high street retailers that are available on the website, and then you can start earning straight away. Earning points. Sounds
good. And where can we find your trip using just your Virgin Red points?
You can go to Instagram or my TikTok. My name's just Alfie Watts on both. I hopefully should be quite easy to find by now.
You are. Alfie, always good to speak to you. Thank you again for joining us. Happy travels. Safe journey back to the UK for a little stopover, and have another brilliant time when you're out and about once more.
Thank you, Jason. Take care.
Now the nation's favourite TV moments have been revealed, and it's every single episode of the Gadget Show ever with Jason Bradbury on it. Actually, there's a load of other stuff as well. Jason joins me now to tell me about the list. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, good. I'm hoping it won't be my funeral, actually, because it seems that funerals are very, very popular. Not least Queen Elizabeth's funeral and Diana's funeral. Some of the big, most memorable moments have been those. That and Live Aid, of course. Which,
well, yes, with the recent
celebrating this weekend.
Yeah, I've been marking of that. But it is those moments that bring the country together, which is obviously where Queen Elizabeth II and Diana came in with their departures from this world. But there's things like the Olympics in London in 2012. That was a major TV event.
Yeah.
I mean, the closest Olympics we've ever got in the and it became an event we all stayed at home and watched on TV, but or in the cinema in my case. But it was still a TV show on a big screen. But it's amazing when we see these things together, isn't it?
Yeah, I think often a cultural event will meld with a technology, and that's when it's a truly big moment. The Queen's coronation being the most obvious early example, but the London 2012, I would say, I mean, this is relatively subjective. It's only my opinion, but the old, is it the red button? I can't remember what colour the blooming button is on the BBC's output, but the ability to be able to just switch around between different races and different events. For the first time, it felt to me like it really, really worked. I know there had been other events and it was a relatively established platform by then, but that for me was one of the big things. That and the online content that was also part of that, the fact that I could go down the supermarket and I could have the radio in my pocket, or I could have some form of streaming content and then get back to my telly, and I'd know that what was coming up and I'd get it all on the television. Yeah, so I think that's what happens, and there are more contemporaneous examples of that. I mean, I would argue that the recent adolescence phenomenon, that show caught everyone's attention, didn't it? And for a relatively short period of time, everyone was talking about it. So those culturally defining events are very important, but they need to be meshed with a capable technology. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because things have moved on. I mean, you talked about the coronation. That was probably on a 9-inch screen, 200 and some odd lines potentially, and it was just about visible. Whereas you move through things like the NASA moon landings, the quality of the pictures that came back from the moon at the time weren't that great. Even England versus Germany, they think it's all over moment. Those all before our lifetimes, and things that we still know about and we've seen the footage from. But it doesn't live up to the technology today. And celebrating 100 years of TV and the likes of the TVs we get these days. And I know Samsung have done this research. And the fact that you've got 4K quality as standard these days compared to what it was, it is almost like having a window into the world rather than the way the pictures used to be in the past.
I remember when we got 4K into the Gadget Show studio for the first time, and there was some test footage on it, and it was a sizzling steak. And it made me salivate because it was a Pavlovian response to the pure clarity of that. Technologies like QLED, which you may or may not know, it stands for quantum dot light emitting diode, or OLED, organic light emitting diode.
But again, we were kids. The LED, the only one of those anywhere near your telly was the one that displayed the numbers, and it was like the little calculator displays. That was the only LED on your telly back in the day.
But it is incredible that the old LED is still very much at the center of these technologies. Whether it's the backlit QLED screen or the kind of blacker than blacks OLED, it's still LEDs, although an organic light emitting diode is a slightly different technology. So I think quality is very much at the core of people's buying decisions. But there is something of a kind of TV tech fatigue thing happening. So the research that you mentioned from Samsung did show that almost half of UK shoppers, so 46%, said that they bought a telly without actually understanding what the technology that makes it do what it does actually does. They're sort of overwhelmed by some of the tech stuff. So if you want me to clear any of that up, I'm happy to do it.
Go on, because you're used to explaining this for people who aren't into gadgets as much as you're into gadgets.
Yeah. So, okay. So you want to aim for 4K. All right. There are other technologies. It goes up to 8K now. You might have noticed in the showrooms, but 4K is a really high quality standard that many of the broadcasters, even the streamers and so on and so forth, can provide content for. And it doesn't really matter how you get the content into it. It might be a Wi-Fi enabled television. It might be streaming. It might be coming through more standard mainstream media broadcast technologies and platforms. But the 4K experience is really important. It's a beautiful way to watch a piece of content. A high refresh rate is always a good thing. I often talk about that, but that's mainly because I'm a gamer. Okay, that's normally measured in hertz. So say 120 hertz would be a really good hertz standard to have on your television. That makes it easy on the eyes, and it means that you don't get any tearing in high movement sequences. Therefore, it's good. That's why it's good for gaming. And yes, and the kind of QLED OLED thing, really, I would say that's down to how much importance you place on the triad color, clarity and contrast. That's what I would say in simple terms, right? So if you want more contrast, then I would argue that the blacker blacks of OLED, if you're a movie buff, for example, that's where I would go. But if you want a more general high performance experience for all kinds of environments that include kind of overly well lit environments, which I think, to be practical, many of us, that's our experience, unless you've got blackout blinds, then QLED is a really good technology for that. So hopefully that gives you some sort of guide to some of the buzzwords that will inform a better buying decision.
People are often governed by the thickness of the bezel around the edge of the screen, all these sort of aesthetic things about the monitor that you're looking at as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's important, isn't it? The industrial design of something. I mean, hence why certain phone manufacturers are so popular. Most of the phones nowadays do the same things, don't they? But a good bit of industrial design, a nice bit of aluminium, or like you say, a thin bezel can be the difference between purchasing or not, depending on how you want to use it. I think the design of a television is important. I would also say the other thing to consider is sound. You can't overestimate the immersive quality of a good sound system. And when a lot of the new televisions, when we changed from the cathode ray tube to flat screen through plasma up to LED and now OLED and QLED, one of the things that wasn't initially well catered for was sound. That's not the case now. There's all sorts of really interesting sound projection technologies. But again, it's another thing to think about if you're going into the market to buy a new telly.
Yeah, come on, you go out there, you buy your Samsung telly, you're basically putting cinema into your home these days, aren't you? So why not go for the experience? And sadly, so many people aren't going to the cinema, but when you've got a big screen at home, you don't necessarily need to, do you?
No, and you don't have a bunch of teenagers
throwing popcorn across your set.
Yeah,
actually, some people's households do have that group of teenagers with the food, but
not that I'm decrying the importance of a good cinema experience. I do love that. I've actually just been working on a feature film, would you believe? A comedy set in Skegness, and
I thought you were Jason Statham's body double again.
Oh, mate. God, I wish. And so I'm hoping to find a way of putting that in a cinema. But I agree now. The best, most successful content is being screened at in people's homes, and that's why having a little bit more knowledge, maybe spending a little bit more time and possibly a little bit more budget on the right television is really important.
And wouldn't it be great to be able to go back in time and film in HD all of those major events so we could watch them in the finest detail?
Maybe that's what we'll do in the future. Maybe we use AI to revisit this vintage material and bring it up to modern standards.
But based on the way AI behaves at the moment, the Queen won't quite look like the Queen during the coronation. But we will hopefully, fingers crossed, get there. But, it'll be interesting. And what else do you predict for the future over the next 100 years?
Wow, over the next 100 years?
Yeah.
Good grief. Oh my gosh, that's an incredible one. I mean, even 10 years time, let alone 100, I think we will have bridged the gap to power and wireless data transmission that will enable us to wear headsets, augmented reality and virtual reality capable headsets that are probably in 10 years barely any bigger than my glasses.
Your glasses are always huge, though.
I always say, I went to the optician. I said, I'll have that pair, please. And he said, I'm sorry, sir, that's the shop window. that gives some of your listeners a sense of how big my glasses are. But yeah, we're going to be wearing that content. I would also say, back to the AI thing, maybe personalized content, perhaps. So dramas with a personalized ending, for example, where it's a kind of procedurally generated narrative. But also, I would also argue this, okay? And the tender age of whatever I am, 60 plus, 50 plus, that there will be a rollback as well. There always is. And so I wouldn't, predict things too triumphantly just yet, because I do think that the traditional idea of sitting in a front room with a television is going to be popular for a couple of decades. Honestly, I do, because there is something akin to sitting around the fireside, or rather the fire in the forest back in the tribal days. There's something about that communal experience that is very human, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Where can we go for more information on the survey and the tech terms from Samsung?
Well, just search Samsung how to choose a TV, and that'll give you all the information you need.
And where are we finding you in the world of media next?
Well, I suppose the most relevant thing is I'm doing a podcast, the Gadget Show podcast, and me and Susie host that. So if you're an old school gadget fan, it doesn't get much better, and it's available on any podcast platform.
Oh, Jason Bradbury, Gadget Show host, and so much more besides, including, it turns out, movie star. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I wasn't in it, you'll be pleased to know. Hey, thank you so much.
That's a lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 840 next week. Hope to have you along then. See you soon. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.